So the left-handed starter for Harwich and Tom Shimoleski leaves the bases loaded despite allowing a hit back in the 4th inning. And moving into the bottom of the 4th inning, Ethan Anderson, Mason Guerra, and Casey Sauke do up against a new pitcher into the ballgame as Patrick Forbes' day is done. The Louisville product gives the ball over to the sophomore out of Florida in Fisher Jamison. The Lake Worth, Florida native went 1-3 with 13.5 ERA through just nearly 13 innings in his 2nd season with the Florida Gators. And Devin, you consider what the Mariners need right now. They need some hit production aside from getting on the board with the run. Ethan Anderson, Guerra, and Sauke will be trying to give their first hit here on the ballgame at home.
And that's the guys you want to be able to do it. I mean, the harder your order, as you put it, Wyatt, a bunch of guys that have been really successful both in Harwich, with the exception of Anderson, and in their college baseball eras. So we'll see what they can bring here. Trailing by 1, got to find a way to help out your pitcher, and Shimoleski, who's been doing his part to keep his team in the ballgame.
So here's the 6'2", 205 Ethan Anderson as he lofts it foul back behind home plate. He struck out looking to close out the first for Forbes. The freshman out of Louisville going 3 innings with no earned runs, no hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts collected here. Now the fog's still settling in here as this one is roped into center field for a base hit. Ethan Anderson in his season debut, the first baseman, had a lofty catch over in foul territory next to the Whitecaps dugout just a half inning ago, and he leads off with a base hit here in the 4th.
And you got to appreciate someone who can line a ball into center field like that, and Ethan Anderson. That's just a small sample size of what we're going to see throughout his tenure here in Harwich. Really excited to see how he fits into this lineup.
Just got here yesterday, a couple days after Casey Sauke, his Virginia Cavaliers teammate, as that sets up Mason Guerra, the Oregon State product. First pitch he sees bounced in the dirt, gets away from the catcher and Berg. Anderson coasting into second, and a hold there. So now a runner in scoring position for arguably the hottest hitter in this Mariners lineup, Devin, who has that 6-game hitting streak and can certainly continue to fine-tune his approach at the plate as he looks to bring Anderson home.
Yeah, barreled up a ball in the 2nd inning, a line out to the second baseman and Peyton Green, and an ideal scenario if you're Harwich now. Runner in scoring position with nobody gone down, and a lot of chances to get him in with your big bats coming up.
1-0 floats low for ball number 2. Mariners went down in order in the 1st and the 2nd, as did the Whitecaps. But a solo home run from Jaime Ferreira of Florida State, putting the Whitecaps ahead first here. Jamison at 6'5", 220, taking his time. Now 3-0 here as he has some work to do to climb out of this huge hole against a strong contact hitter in Guerra. Just wrapped up his sophomore season at Oregon State. He had 4 hits in early May against Arizona State. Very capable of driving in runs. And the 3-0. Outside, a 4-pitch walk. The Mariners have traffic on the base pass here in the 1st inning of relief here for Fisher Jamison out of Florida.
Here you go. Got Sauke coming in. He's a guy who's given you 2 hits in the 3 games that he's been here. 2 hits per game in the 3 games he's been here. Struck out in the 2nd, but we'll see how he can respond here. Really golden opportunity for Harwich.
And it's an opportunity that comes with the 3rd walk on the season here for Guerra after he totaled 31 this season in his 2nd season with Oregon State. Another Virginia Cavalier hitter in Sauke stepping up. First pitch, a big swing and a miss for strike number 1. Struck out swinging back in the 2nd, but it's still so early, Devin, that you still have plenty of time. Still none away in the bottom of the 4th. The Mariners only behind 1 here to their East Division opponent in the Brewster Whitecaps. Breaking ball on the outer half. It's 0-2 here. Sauke has gotten off to a great start, mirroring what Guerra did. 2 for 5 the season high, 2 RBIs in that 10-6 loss at Chatham back on Monday night. A 2-strike pitch, misses way low. 1-2 here to the Rochester, New York native. 6th on Virginia in hits this past season, nearly 70. A lot of baseball in the family, as well as father Casey Sauke Sr. spent 2 years in the Orioles organization. Jamison working methodically here with the 1-2. And Sauke's back in the count as it goes even at 2-2. We've talked a lot about how Sauke has that contact-heavy swing, just the purest swing that you may have seen this season. But his plate discipline is on full display here.
And plenty of room to that right side, of which he's very fond of.
Lots of room. 2-2, just tapped foul. Mariners have been susceptible to plenty of strikeouts as of late. But Sauke here with one hit to leave the infield, and it's a tie ball game as Ethan Anderson stands off of second, Guerra on first. The 2-2. Fastball swung on and missed. So Sauke strikes out for the second time here tonight. As there's one away, Brian Arndt, arguably one of the more consistent hitters in the Mariners lineup, also coming up here to bring home at least one.
And that really hurts for Harwich because you get the first two on, nobody gone down, and then one of your best hitters goes down swinging for the second time today. It's really frustrating when you're given the opportunities and can't even at the very least move them over, but now it's in the hands of Brian Arndt. Got to turn the page.
Lofted out towards shallow left field, running over to his right. Hoy, he makes the catch as there are two away. So after Sauke works a relatively deep count, Arndt tries the first pitch as that keeps the runners at bay at first and second.
Another big bat, Kennedy Jones will dig in, a guy who can change the course of the ballgame, one swing of the bat. Does have a bomb on the season. That was the first one here at White House, if I'm not mistaken.
Huge spot here for Jones, the Norfolk, Virginia native out of South Carolina. Mariners still trying to get that run home. First hit, a leadoff single here from Ethan Anderson as he's on second. This is the Mariners lineup that has the third highest batting average in the Cape Cod Baseball League, but still looking to get more hits on the board here with just one thus far. Mariners had 4 hits at Chatham on Friday night. Slight uptick as they still lost by 4 runs to a struggling lineup with the Anglers. Big opportunity here for Jones. Speaking of which, Jones with a season-high 2 hits against Chatham as it bounces off the mid of Berg. It'll be 3-0 here.
You got a hitter's count now. They're not going to give him the green light, but I feel like you got to consider it given the caliber of hitter you got at the plate, what he's able to do when he puts the ball in play, and plenty of speed on the base paths. We shall see what Harwich elects to do. I would imagine it's going to be a take and then go from there. On deck, you have Matt Scannell, another guy more than capable of driving in runs.
The 3-0. Fastball, and Jones does not go. 15 RBIs on the season here for Jones. He went 1 for 3 with the game-winning hit in the 10th inning of a 3-2 win against the best team in the Cape Cod Baseball League in the Katuitt Kettleers. 3-1 grounded foul. Now the runners will be going with the count full.
Fantastic play by, I believe, Jesse Woods out there in the dugout that time, snagging it on the ground ball over towards the dugout.
Anderson on second, Guerra on first. A single and a walk here against Fisher Jamison. The payoff pitch, skied out towards left field. Tibbs moving under it, calls it off, and he makes the catch for the final out of the 4th inning. The Mariners get 2-1 in the first 2 that Jamison faces, and as the first reliever out of the Brewster pen, he strands 2. Harwich brings 5 to the plate and scores no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leaves 2 on as we move here into the 5th inning at White House Field. 1-0 between the Brewster Whitecaps and the Harwich Mariners on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Mariners strain 2 again here as Tom Shimoleski, the left-handed starter out of Princeton, steps back on the mound. Latest start on the season, now set to face Derek Berg, Dylan Hoy, and Will Turner, the 9-1-2 hitters. Here for 7-11-2 Brewster, 3.5 games out of first place in the Cape Cod East Division standings. The Mariners a half game out of first behind Yarmouth Dennis. Wyatt Kopelman and Devin Dobeck here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Mariners bats finally starting to come alive a little bit despite just having one hit on the evening here, as it's 1-1 here to Berg, who singled to right field back in the third inning.
Really put a charge into that one. A really nice swing considering still getting used to these wooden bats in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Outside. Mariners went down in order in the first and the second. And you have to think that something can break through here as the Mariners have had 2 left stranded in the third and the fourth. This one lofted over towards the right side. Anderson from first runs over, and instead it's going to be Rivera from second as he makes a tumbling catch in shallow right field for the first out here in the fifth.
And that is huge to get that first out. Chmielewski not wanting to pitch out of a jam like he did in the fourth inning when the leadoff hitter and Davis Diaz was able to get on, and also in the third inning a leadoff home run. So trying to get back into that rhythm that he had before the third inning. We'll see if this is the start of it, but a nice play that time by Rivera.
Chopped over towards the right side here from Dylan Hoy, the shortstop, on a couple of bounces for Rivera. He fires to first as they're a 2-up and 2-way here in the fifth. And for Chmielewski, Devin, 76 and 2/3 innings pitched, 73 strikeouts, very strikeout reliant. He's got a lot of ground ball contact tonight, and it certainly helped as he left the bases stranded in the fourth as well.
And you'll take that, absolutely. If they're putting the ball on the ground and it gets through, good for them. But you're giving your defense a chance to make plays and also allows you to get in more of a rhythm yourself as opposed to throwing 6-7 pitch at-bats. Really nice job that time by Rivera to get that one on to first. Some easy hops, but making his pitcher's life easier.
Here's the 1-0 to Will Turner, the center fielder, as it's a strike on the inner half to even up the count. And Chmielewski has only dealt 3 3-ball counts here tonight. But the Whitecaps have been quite aggressive to get the game's first run on 3 hits. And there's a slider that goes low.
A couple controversial check swings here. Another one that was really, really close, right in that gray area, but third base umpire disagrees.
Turner, the sophomore out of South Alabama, as Chmielewski misses high with a fastball. Hitting .261 for the Whitecaps and went 1 for 3 with 2 walks and a 3-run win against Chatham. The 3-ball pitch just outside. It's a 5-pitch walk, and Brewster has a base runner with 2 away here in the fifth.
And that really hurts to see for Chmielewski, especially given the fact that could have been a strike on that check swing, and just going to have to find a way to get Davis Diaz out, but he's a tough customer.
So it keeps the inning alive here for Davis Diaz, 1 for 2 on the day. Struck out looking back in the first and reached on a leadoff single to center field back in the fourth. Arndt with a good stop behind the plate. The UNC Wilmington Seahawks catcher able to prevent Turner from getting off to second that time. 1-0 deficit for Harwich. Chmielewski trying to get a final out here as he deals a curveball low. It's 2-0 here. Sophomore out of Vanderbilt. He drove in 57 runs and hit .263 in his second season under 21st year head coach Tim Corbin. He said that Davis is why people want to coach and stay in coaching. Brings a great attitude to the Commodores program that seeks to get to the College World Series every season, as he now tries to move Turner into second here. Lower third of the lineup here for the Whitecaps has given them that 1-0 lead, a 1-0 lead on a solo home run from Jaime Ferrer out of Florida State, a solo home run. And it's been the only blemish thus far against Chmielewski, as he has retired 6 straight out of the gates in his latest start on the season. Starting to settle in here. The 2-1 shot down the left field line, but it goes well foul. A little early to say the least, right, Devin?
That was a shot, too. I would be really terrified to see what would happen if he'd straightened that thing out. That ball was tattooed down over the left field side. And, yeah, just an absolute shot. Diaz has got some serious power.
Chmielewski looking for a 5th strikeout, 2-2. Lobbed out towards right center field. It's falling quickly between the outfielders, and it bounces for a base hit. Rounding second into third, Turner. He gets the wave around sign. The throw to the plate will not come around as it's a 2-0 lead for Brewster.
And if you're Chmielewski, that's just really tough to see happen. You get the first 2 outs real quick thanks to a pop out and a ground out, and then back-to-back runners on base, one by way of the walk, and then a double into the gap. It's just really brutal. Just when you think that you're going to get out of it, the inning's extended, and now you got to continue to get yourself out of what proceeds to be another jam. 2-0 Brewster.
A 2-out double from Diaz. He now has his 2nd hit on the day. It's Brewster's 4th. As Chmielewski just needing one more here against Brock Tibbetts, the cleanup hitter, as he pounds one foul to the right side for strike number 1. So Chmielewski working out of a bases-loaded jam back in the 4th, but is unable to avoid any further damage here in the 5th. The rising senior at Princeton trying to get him out here. Here's a rollover towards the right side. Rivera slowly off the roll, and he fires it over to first in time. But Brewster tacks on another run, getting 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and leaving 1 on. 2 hits, rather, for the Whitecaps here in the top of the 5th as we're halfway home here at White House Field. We'll be back in a moment here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Another Brewster run on an RBI double with 2 outs to start the 5th inning as Fisher Jamison, the right-hander out of Florida, stepping back on the mound. Facing Matt Scannell, Daniel Rivera, and Jacob Humphrey, the 8, 9, and 1-hole hitters do here. With the Whitecaps ahead 2-0 in their 2nd visit to White House Field against the Harwich Mariners this season. Wyatt Kopelman and Devin Dobeck here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Scannell lobs one out towards shallow left field, not too far for the shortstop in Hoy at the lip of the outfield grass. He makes the catch for the first out here in the 5th. And Devin, you look at the Mariners lineup quiet through 3 innings. They get a hit on the board in the 4th, but will certainly need the middle of the order to get percolating here.
Yeah, got to find a way to just tally some hits. It's been a tough go of it thus far, and unfortunately, they've only left 4 runners on through 4 innings and have not been able to drive around anybody else. It's just been a lousy day for the Mariners on offense. Got to just go deeper into at-bats, wait for pitches, and spoil off ones you don't want.
Now Daniel Rivera, the former Southern New Hampshire product, steps in, set to transfer to Kansas State. Reach on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd. Harwich still looking for its 2nd hit here as he spikes one foul back behind home plate. The Mariners giving the Whitecaps a solo home run. It was to Jaime Ferreira lead off the 3rd inning against the left-handed starter out of Princeton and Tom Chmielewski. 2-out double from Davis Diaz, patting the Whitecaps lead. It's 2 runs on 4 hits for the Whitecaps, no runs on 1 hit, and an error for the Mariners. 1-1, a slow tapper over towards the right side. Jamison off the mound. An underhand toss. Is there a two-way here in the 5th?
Yeah, just that's the story of what's happened here. A pop out in the infield and then a chopper over to the pitcher. Just Harwich being unable to find a way to crack these Brewster wings. Credit to Forbes and Jamison, who've been fantastic, but sooner or later you got to find a way to get on and move runners around. Brewster has been able to do it against arguably your ace in Chmielewski. Even with 2 outs, they've been beginning rallies. So if you're Harwich, time's now. You got to find a way to put this ball in play.
Jacob Humphrey, the center fielder, watches one down the middle for strike 1, and they've only combined for 3 strikeouts as well. So the Mariners just needing to find a way to get it into the outfield, as it'll be 0-2 here to the UMass Lowell outfielder. Popped out to third base, back of the 1st, reached on a walk back in the 3rd. The Mariners looking at Humphrey here for a little 2-out spark, as a breaking ball just misses low. I think Jamison thought he had it. He was starting to walk off the mound back towards the Brewster dugout.
Yep, and that's always something that rattles your cage when you think you got something, even as a batter, when you think you have ball forward and have to dig back in. Really frustrating.
1-2. Check swing. The appeal down to first as the first base umpire Charles Campbell says no. So a new count here to Humphrey. Brewster retiring 5 in a row here, looking at Jamison for a 1-2-3 job in the 5th. The 2-2. Breaking ball on the upper half as it gets called looking. Humphrey strikes out for the first time here today as the Mariners go down in order. Through 5 innings, the Mariners trail the Whitecaps 2-0 as they move along into the 6th inning here from White House Field. The second meeting between the Whitecaps and the Mariners this season. We'll step away and be back with more Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. The Brewster Whitecaps still ahead of the Harwich Mariners 2-0 moving into the 6th inning here at White House Field. Second meeting on the season. Wyatt Kopelman, Devin Dobeck here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. A new pitcher here into the ballgame for the Whitecaps to face in the 5'8", 172-pound Dominic Pacone as he deals the first pitch foul. The junior out of Garnet Valley, Pennsylvania, making his season debut here tonight, pitching at St. Joseph's of the Atlantic 10 Conference, and Devin certainly looking for a 1-2-3 inning here after the second run from Brewster, as it's quickly 0-2 here to James Tibbs, the left fielder.
And he's got some serious velo, considering he's just 5'8". He's really finding ways to pump the zone. We've seen just 2 pitches, but those have been zipped right in there.
And he had an ERA of 4.5 with a 5-6 record at St. Joseph's this season, but did have 74 strikeouts as he tries for one here. Breaking ball lofted into left field. It's for a base hit as well. The speedy Tibbs around first. He's charging into second as the Florida State outfielder has a leadoff double here against the new wing and Pacone to lead off the 6th.
Yeah, and just tried the breaking ball to get the fancy punch out that time, and unfortunately hung it a little too far over the outer part of the plate, and it's just laced right down the left field line. Really nice piece of hitting that time by James Tibbs, and now Brewster with yet another runner in scoring position.
First hit of the day for Tibbs. The extra base hit in the double down the left field line after a ground out and a walk, as that sets up Ivan Brettauer here. The 6'6" designated hitter, as he swings and misses there. The velocity certainly apparent there, as you alluded to, Devin. Mariners behind in this one only by a couple of runs after a solo home run from Jaime Ferrer, the other Florida State outfielder for this Brewster squad, and a 2-out double from Davis Diaz, as it's quickly 0-2 here to the tall Brettauer. Designated hitter here tonight. 0 for 2 on the night. A flyout and a strikeout. Pacone now out of the stretch here. 2-strike pitch. Misses way low. It gets away from Arndt, as that will send the man in scoring position, Tibbs, into third.
Yeah, and that's one Arndt's got to have. Just went right under his glove, and unfortunately that really hurts. And now the runner just 90 feet away.
Pacone smiling as he gets a new baseball from home plate umpire Mike Hinojosa after the wild pitch. Now 1-2 the count here to Brettauer. 2 hits in the past 6 games with 3 walks. There's a slider on the upper outside corner as it gets called looking. The first strikeout here as a Harwich Mariner for Dominic Pacone out of St. Joe, so there's one down here in the 6th.
Really nice put-out pitch that time on the outer part of the plate, almost unhittable with that late break, and Pacone got to be happy that one. The monkey off his back there and strikeout looking. Now you're heading into the ever-dangerous bottom part of the order for these Whitecaps there. So how it's been tonight, that is, and Ferrer going to give him a tough contest.
Jaime Ferrer, a swing on the slider for strike 1. And yeah, you couldn't be more right, Devin. I mean, this is a Brewster's team that has the second lowest batting average in the Cape Cod Baseball League and has really worked its 5 hits well as it bounces away from Arndt off the cleat. That will score the speedy Tibbs into home as the Mariners now trail 3-0 on a wild pitch again here from Pacone.
I guess the good news is now the bases are empty, so you can just focus on the batter, not have to worry about that run coming in because it's all in the history books now. But Harwich offense can't really complain about what's going on defense until they get some more hits and stuff. Just 1 hit through 5 complete innings.
Another swing and a miss here from Ferrer as it's 1-2. The solo home run to start the 3rd and get the Brewster Whitecaps on the board first, as the Mariners have yet to get their scoring out of the way thus far. The 2-strike pitch, half swing, and it goes away from Arndt, and it's now into the glove of Guerra as he won't make the throw down to first. What should be an infield single on the check swing from Ferrer as he has his 2nd hit on the ball game.
And I mean, yeah, that's just really detrimental if you're Pacone. Finally, a good pitch, get the batter to check swing, and it just finds a home in the shallow infield. That really stinks, but unfortunately, just going to have to pitch your way out of it. Focus on Peyton Green now.
So the first outing here for Dominic Pacone, a double and now a single to third. The 6th Whitecaps hit on the evening as Peyton Green takes one high and inside on the fastball.
Chris Lotito getting loose in the Harwich pen. Doesn't seem to be doing anything too extensive.
Just high at the letters. It's 2-0 here to the NC State shortstop. 2 strikeouts here today, 1 looking, 1 swinging, as the fog has begun to blanket the infield in addition to the outfield. Pacone, the 5'8" right-hander, deals a swing and a miss. It's 2-1. Former transfer out of Rhode Island, played 3 seasons for another Atlantic 10 team before transferring to St. Joseph's. As he deals a slider, swung on a miss, it goes to 2-2 here. At Rhode Island, 4-5. 5 starts, 62 2/3 innings pitched. He has really gone extensive for those 2 Atlantic 10 programs. Now the 2-2, lined over towards the left side hurdle. He loses it into left center field as Ferrer moves into third, thought about it for a second, and the throw is off the wide side of the bag as there are now runners on first and third on the error by Devin Hurdle.
And I mean, that's one you got to have if you're Hurdle. I think he got a little too excited. Looked to be a tailor-made double play, and I think just tried to make the flip before he had the baseball. It goes right under him, and he's had a tough time on defense through his first 2 games here as a Harwich Mariner, but that one really going to hurt his team.
So instead of a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play, it's Derek Berg, the catcher out of Army, stepping up in the 9-hole here. Senior of Conroe, Texas. And he has a prime opportunity to pad the Brewster Whitecaps lead after hitting a career-best .312 and 44 RBIs to go with it in his 3rd season with the Knights. Ferrer on 3rd and Green on 1st here. Just one away here for the right-hander and Dominic Picone. Shot into left center field, through for a base hit. That will send Ferrer home, and easily he scores as the Mariners now trail 4-0 here in the 6th with still 1 gone.
I mean, yeah, this is something that you got to figure out. You're making your pitcher get extra outs, and unfortunately, it really is going to hurt you in more ways than one. Another run coming in Jaime Ferrer, and now you got to pitch your way out of it. Another 2 outs.
So after Tom Shimoleski, the left-handed starter out of Princeton, worked out of a bases-loaded jam in the 4th, it's over to Picone now, who has struggled to get a couple of outs after dealing a looking strikeout to Ivan Bretthauer. Strike 1 here to the leadoff hitter in Dylan Hoy, the shortstop, 0 for 2 here tonight with a walk, as he lofts one high and deep out towards right field. That sends Sauke back to the warning track. He makes the catch. Tagging from second will be Peyton Green. Both runners move in as now the throw into second is not in time. Hurdle tried for a tag, and instead of it being an inning-ending out, it's going to be 2 runners in scoring position with the Mariners down 4-0.
Yeah, and I don't know. That one a really close play over at second. It looked like the umpire and Gomez made the call before he got to the base, but nonetheless, Harwich has got to find a way to get out of this with no more harm done. You'll take the long sack fly, but now top of the order.
Ball 1 here to Will Turner. 0 for 2 with a walk back in the 5th. Harwich's relief pitching has had its issues with control and getting out of innings. And I'd say more here for Picone. It's just getting that ground ball contact in addition to having the defense back you up as well. This one grounded over towards the right side for Anderson at first. He steps on the bag himself for the final out of the 6th inning. But Brewster answers with another 2 runs here to start the 6th inning, scoring those 2 runs on 3 hits. 1 committed error from Harwich's defense and leaves 2 in scoring position. 4-0 deficit for the Mariners going to the home half of the 6th. We'll be back here at White House Field in just a moment on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 4-0 Brewster over Harwich going into the bottom half of the 6th inning here from White House Fields. Another 2 runs in the 6th inning on a wild pitch. And an RBI base hit to left field as the Mariners need answers. No runs on just 1 hit thus far as Devin Hurdle steps in and swings through for strike 1 here. Wyatt Kopelman and Devin Dobek here. And Devin, the Mariners only with 1 hit through their first 5 innings. They've got another strong start of Tom Chmielewski. He gave the Mariners at least 5 innings in his 4th start of the season, but the offense still yet to wake up.
I mean, yeah, you're talking about a team where there's no excuse for them to have just 1 hit through 5 innings. They're not helping themselves on either side of the ball. They've surrendered 7 hits, made a pair of errors. Just can't find any ways to play good baseball right now.
Devin Hurdle smashes one out towards right field. On the run for Rare as it bounces to the left of the chalk for a base hit. And it's a leadoff single here from the Nebraska-Omaha third baseman as the Mariners finally have that 2nd hit on the night.
A nice play by Ferrer, not to be overlooked by the single. If he was unable to knock that ball down, would have been extra bases for Hurdle. Found a way to pick it up on the short hop and keep that runner at first base.
And here comes someone in the heart of the lineup with already a hit on the afternoon, and Ethan Anderson, the catcher and first baseman out of Virginia. Mariners getting their first hit since back in the 4th inning, and it came from Anderson as he had a leadoff single to center field. 1 for 2 here on the day. Meanwhile, Hurdle entering here with 2 hits on the season, was 2 for 4 with a run scored in that season debut at Chatham. The Mariners falling 10-6 in their 2nd trip to Veterans Fields as the Mariners try and get back in the win column here tonight. Fisher Jamison, meanwhile, back on the mound as Anderson ropes it through the right side for a base hit. Hurdle will stop at 2nd, and back-to-back hits to start off the 6th inning. Maybe does have that lineup waking up after all.
There you go. You got a little action going here in the 6th inning. Find a way to build off that momentum. This is the best part in your order, and now a chance to capitalize on one of the few opportunities you've had tonight before Brewster dives into their bullpen.
Well, that brings up someone else in the cleanup hitter in Mason Guerra, certainly due for a hit here today, looking to extend his hitting streak from 6 games to 7. Lined out to 2nd, back in the 2nd, earned a walk back in the 4th. The Mariners left 2 on in that 4th inning. Huge chance to strike for their first runs on the evening against Fisher Jamison, the first Brewster reliever. The tall right-hander out of Florida, the Lake Worth, Florida native. Only allowing a couple hits to the Mariners thus far. Goes way low here. It's 2-0 here to the Beaverton, Oregon native in Guerra, as now the catcher in Devin Berg stuck behind home plate as he's down, grimacing in pain. A little bit of discomfort on that right hand.
Yeah, that never feels good, but well, he gets reset here. YD Red Sox defeat the Hyannis Harborhawks 5-4 from Red Wilson Field, so they will retain their spot at first place for another day at least. Cotuit defeated Falmouth 3-2 at Lowell Park. Bourne on top of Wareham 4-3 in the top of the 7th, and Orleans leads Chatham 5-2 at Veterans Field in the top of the 4th.
Big spot here for Guerras. He shoots it over towards the left side, and it goes over the glove of Diaz. Rounding third is Hurdle, and he will get the stop sign from Mark Thibault, the third base coach. Bases loaded. 3 straight base hits here for the Mariners lineup, and they are rolling here to start the 6th.
I guess this has come out of nowhere. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a mound visit sooner or later, but a really generous hop that time on the hit by Guerra as it just shot past Diaz, and he extends now his hit streak to 7 games. That is Guerra. Mariners with a serious chance for some offense. 1 swing of the bat. You got a tie ball game. See what Sauke can do now.
Massive spot here for the Mariners with a tying run at the plate in Casey Sauke, the sophomore out of Virginia. Fastball on the outer half for strike 1 here. On third, Hurdle. 2nd, Anderson. Guerra on first. The Mariners with just 1 hit up into the 6th inning here as they trail the Whitecaps 4-0 in their 2nd meeting on the season. 0-1 misses low. Mariners had looked at Tom Chmielewski, the left-handed starter out of Princeton, for 5 innings of 2-run baseball. And the lineup, despite starting quiet, has begun to find its rhythm here, with Sauki up here and has established himself in the lineup on a hit streak of 4 games. 1-1 just on the outer half as it goes to 1-2.
Sauki's going to be kicking himself. The first 2 strikes he's taken have been really nice pitches in the middle part of the strike zone and just laying off him, waiting for his, probably sitting on a fastball that time when the off-speed was looped in.
Sauki still looking for his first hit, has to protect. 1-2. Foul tip off the glove of Berg, as he seems to be okay now, despite taking one off the hand. Solo home run from Jaime Ferrer, the right fielder for Brewster. Giving the Whitecaps their first and only lead. They got 2 in the top of the 6th. A wild pitch and an RBI hit, padding the Whitecaps' lead. Well, this one not quite over yet. The Mariners still with plenty of time. 1-2, dips low. Good take that time from Sauki. It's something we talked about a little bit earlier. Despite the 2 strikeouts, is able to find his way back into counts. And the Mariners certainly need a hit here to score 2. Foggy evening at White House Fields. The Mariners focused on getting back in this one as it bounces away from Berg. And a good stop. It just doesn't get too far away from him off the home plate circle as the count runs full.
And this is the biggest pitch of the ball game for the Mariners thus far. Bases loaded, nowhere to put them. You got Brian Arndt on deck. Sauki a chance to do damage with a base knock, or a walk would work as well. We'll see what he can deliver. Big spot.
46 RBIs at Virginia in his 2nd season this past year. Looks to deliver. 3-2, tapped foul. That's something that the Whitecaps have been doing quite well all evening long, whether it's been against the starter in Tom Chmielewski or the reliever in Dominic Pacone out of St. Joe's. Is just fouling pitches often, spiking the pitch counts as well. Hurdle on third, Anderson on second, Guerra on first. None away. The payoff pitch, line foul. Sauki has an exceptional level of bat-to-barrel contact, or bat-to-ball contact, I should say. Perfect time to use it here.
Pair of strikeouts for him tonight, though. But he's putting up a good fight here against Jamison, who's trying to get a heroic first out without those runners moving anywhere.
Tension is picked up. The payoff pitch, too low. Sauki works his first walk here on the night, and that draws in Devin Hurdle as the Mariners are on the board, now trailing 4-1 against the Whitecaps.
There you go. Finally, a really good at bat. Actually, 4 straight really good at bats, and Harwich now really making this an interesting ball game. Still nobody away here, and the bases loaded. That fog a factor too, so a fly ball could be a little dangerous if you're trying to track it. Big at bat for Brian Arnaz. That will draw out, I believe, Jamie Shevchek.
Shevchek comes to have a word here with the first reliever in Fisher Jamison out of Florida. Sauki, meanwhile, picks up his first walk on the season, for that matter, and gives the Mariners their first run as a pitching change is made here with still none away in the bottom of the 6th. Do the Mariners have a chance to tie it up here with the go-ahead run in Brian Arndt coming to the plate? We'll find out next here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. The Mariners get their first run on the game on a bases-loaded walk from Casey Sauke. The Whitecaps still lead 4-1, but they replace Fisher Jameson out of Florida with their second reliever in Joey DiChiaro out of Old Dominion. As Jameson leaves after 2+ innings, his line not closed yet, though he did give up 4 hits, 2 walks, and collected 2 strikeouts. As DiChiaro's first batter will be Brian Arndt, the left-hander out of Old Dominion here in DiChiaro. In dire situation here. First pitch, a strike here on the lower half. Meanwhile, Arndt on the day, 0 for 2, has yet to earn a walk or a strikeout here. A base hit would draw in at least 2 runs. Wyatt Kopelman and Devin Dobek here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Arndt out of UNC Wilmington hacks it back, and it's 0-2.
Last inning for DiChiaro. Scoreless 2 innings, 2 punch-outs, no hits, and a 3-2 loss against the YD Red Sox. But he's been exceptional for the Whitecaps all season. Just the guy you want heading out to the hill in a situation like this. Let's see how he's able to attack this Harwich order, who's really threatening.
Well, Arndt had his first double this season in that 1-run loss against Hyannis here. As it taken high and inside to make it 1-2. Has a 2-game hitting streak with 2 multi-hit outings. At UNC Wilmington, hit .257 with 10 walks and 18 RBIs. A very versatile catcher to have in the lineup. 1-2, lofted out towards foul territory, first base side, and making the catch, Tibbetts at first. The IU product puts it away as there's finally one away in the 6th. And so now a ground ball could certainly put away the inning and strand a couple of runners here for the Mariners. But Kennedy Jones, meanwhile, Devin, certainly due for an RBI hit, has started to quiet off a little bit in the lineup despite having 4 hits in the last 5 games.
Yep, it's been kind of a tough stretch for him, but what an opportunity to get back into it, a chance to really give your team a boost. Might be able to score 2 with a base hit and make it a 1-run game, so we'll see what Jones can do here, but big at-bat nonetheless, especially with just the 1 out. Once you get to 2, it's a whole different situation.
Jones bangs it back for strike 1. A walk back in the 3rd, flied out to left field in the 4th. As the Mariners left 2 on in each of those innings. Biggest spot of the ball game here for Harwich. Game-tying run at first in Sauke, on 3rd Anderson, on 2nd Guerra. 0-1, a slider that doesn't break as it goes high. To go to 1-1 here on the South Carolina product.
Definitely wouldn't mind a wild pitch here, that's for sure.
It's how Brewster has scored. First led with a home run. Solo home run from Jaime Ferrer out of Florida State. RBI double and a wild pitch extending that lead in the 6th here. Still 1 away. Jones swings and misses. A good stop from Berg as the Army catcher helps DiChiaro send it to a 1-2 count here. Mariners have yet to have the bases loaded here today. Went down in order in the 1st and the 2nd as they trail 4-1 here against the Whitecaps at home. Sauke with a bases loaded walk. It's the only Mariners run thus far. 4 hits aside from that. 1-2, a swing and a miss. The slider got Jones out in front as he strikes out for the first time here tonight as there are 2 away in the 6th.
Yeah, and that's just really a tough way to get out here in the 6th inning with the bases loaded and nobody away. And then you get, of course, the foul out and then a strikeout. That's not going to do it. That's not going to chase anyone home. You got to find a way to at least put it on the ground or deep in the air out to the outfield. Credit to DiChiaro there. He's doing a great job of getting outs that are not even in fair territory.
First one is Scannell just low at the knees for ball 1. Struck out Sweeney in the 3rd, popped out to the shortstop in Hoy back in the 5th. Hitting .213 here on the season. Bringing in a 3-game hitting streak as well. 1-0 offering, Scott back for strike 1. Middle of that infield is wide open here for Scannell. Someone, aside from that home run he had for Harwich's first at Yarmouth Dennis, has been very reliant on that ground ball contact to get on base this season, aside from 8 walks. His speed on the base pass is picked up as well. Has 4 on the season here. 1-1 from the left-hander DiChiaro, way high as it almost hits Scannell. 2-1 here to the Princeton product.
Got to get a hit here. This is the time. This is going to be that play we look back on in the post game and be like, oh, well, there was your opportunity. And barring another tremendous offensive inning, Harwich has got to cash in right now.
DiChiaro, the junior out of Old Dominion, as it's lofted foul, make it 2-2.
Back against the wall on the ropes. I mean, got to put something in play. If they're going to make a play, fine, but don't let them strike you out. Find a way to just put a bat on a baseball here. This is a big pitch.
DiChiaro has pitched the second most innings for this Whitecaps team. He also leads Brewster in wins at 3 as he tries to work out of the bases loaded jam that Chmielewski matched back in the 4th inning. Bases loaded, 2 outs, the 2-2. Fastball swung on and missed. Scannell strikes out for the second time as DiChiaro retires each of the first 3 batters he faces as the second Brewster reliever, as the Mariners leave the bases loaded after getting a bases-loaded walk to score their first run from Casey Sauke. 4-1, the Mariners trail going into the 7th inning here at White House Field. We'll step away for a moment. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Attention, please, now pitching for
Harwich trailing Brewster 4-1 going into the 7th inning. The Mariners had 3 straight base hits to lead off the 6th, but they leave those bases loaded. DiChiaro strikes out 1 and rather 2 as he retires all 3 he faced. And back over to play-by-play for the final frame, my broadcast partner Devin Dobek.
Thank you, Wyatt, as Davis Diaz, Brock Tibbetts, and James Tibbs do up for the Brewster Whitecaps. They just got out of a Houdini situation, rather. First pitch is going to be in there for a strike to Diaz. And, yeah, after bases loaded and nobody away, you got to find a way to get more than 1 run. And, unfortunately, Harwich not up to the tall task. 0-1 is going to miss outside. 1-1. New pitcher for the Mariners is going to be Chris Lotito. Night is over for Dominic Picone. In his Mariner debut, went 1 inning, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a strikeout, and no walks. 1-1. Misses inside to make it 2-1. Lotito's been a pretty decent and consistent wing out of this Harwich bullpen. Native of Middletown, New Jersey, attends Jacksonville. 2-1 pitch is going to miss down low, 3-1. 2.70 ERA, over 6 2/3 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, and 4 hits to just 2 walks for Lotito early on. He's been exceptional. 3-1. Misses outside, 5-pitch walk to start off the 7th inning, and that will be another leadoff hitter on fourth time rather that the leadoff hitter has reached for the Whitecaps.
Harwich has been very susceptible to walking opponents this season, just trails Wareham with 106. The Mariners certainly have to look to Lotito for some strikeouts and outs on the ground that Brewster has been able to get convincingly here tonight.
Last pitched in the walk-off win against Katuitt. He was fantastic. 3 innings, a season high for him. 44 pitches, 1 hit, no runs, 2 strikeouts to no walks. He was really the difference maker when you think about Harwich winning that game. Fantastic. Ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch. It's going to be swung on and missed by Brock Tibbetts to make it 1-1. Tibbetts on the day's flight out to center, popped out to first, and grounded out to second. Davis Diaz over on first base. 3rd time he's been on tonight. Lotito checks on him, and here comes the 1-1. Breaking ball is going to be chopped over the shortstop hurdle. Goes on to Rivera for 1 on to first. The pick is in time. 6-4-3 they go. A really nice turn by the new middle infield for Harwich, and there's quickly now 2 away in the 7th. Really nice turn that time, and a better pick over at first base by Ethan Anderson. And so Lotito trying to face the minimum now, but he's going to have to go through James Tibbs. Doubled and scored to lead off the 6th inning. Also was walked and grounded out. First pitch is going to be popped up. Foul territory, ranging over is Guerra and Lotito, and it will escape out of play for strike 1. Lotito also pitched back against the Brewster Whitecaps. Went 2 1/3 innings, 40 pitches, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 strikeout, and 1 walk. That was in the first meeting between the two, which Harwich has also won. Lotito finds the zone once again, and so it'll now be 0-2. 4th appearance for Chris this season. Every game he's appeared in, the Mariners have won, trying to keep that streak alive now. 0-2. Checked his swing. Did he go? It looked for sure like he went that time again, but no. So says Marvick Gomez. I mean, there's been 3 or 4 that have been borderline. You'd think you'd get at least half of them, but no. It's been a very generous threshold for the swing to cross here tonight. Every appeal has been denied. 1-2. Checked his swing again. Did he go? Yes. Finally, as if on cue. A check swing, strikeout, and that retires the side. First strikeout for Lotito, and thanks to a 6-4-3 double play, the Mariners able to escape the top half of the 7th without anyone reaching or without facing more than the minimum. We'll take a quick break. Time to stretch here at White House and be right back for the home half of the 7th. 4-1 Whitecaps. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
The 7th for Harwich, the second baseman from Kansas State, number 21, Daniel Rivera.
Daniel Rivera, Jacob Humphrey, and Devin Hurdle due up for the Harwich Mariners. It'll be 9-1-2. Mariner offense brought 7 up to bat in the 6th, but stranded the bases loaded while only tallying 1 run in what has been their best opportunity to really put up a crooked number in the ball game. Rivera on the day has reached on a fielder's choice and stolen a couple bases. He's also ground out. Big swing at that one, and it's 1-1 now to the newest Kansas State Wildcat. Been pretty sound on defense as Rivera made a tumbling catch out in shallow right field, and also has been perfect over on the right side of the infield with everything that's come his way. 1-1. Lunges at it and misses. It's going to be a 1-2 count now, as fog is definitely much more prevalent than it was 30 minutes ago. Everything and everyone still visible, but definitely could be impeding with certain elements of the ball game. 1-2. Misses up high, 2-2. Mariners trailing by 3 here. Chris Lotito facing the minimum in the top half. Trying to help out their pitching staff now, and here comes the 2-2 offering to Rivera. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. The strikeout number 3 for Joey DiChiero. And third straight strikeout swinging for that matter. He's been fantastic since entering the game. And there's one away here in the 7th.
And he had a 2.2 strikeout to walk ratio with 13 scoreless relief outings in his junior season at Old Dominion. Very capable of getting quick outs.
First pitch in there for a strike, swinging to Jacob Humphrey on the day. As popped out to third, he's walked, stolen a base, and also struck out looking. See what comes in his 4th at-bat here. Mariners really in desperate need of some offense as Humphrey quickly behind 0-2. Credit to Brewster, though, 7 hits and 4 runs. They've really come to play here at White House in this annual home-and-home series around the 4th of July. Last year was on the 3rd and the 4th. This year on the 4th and the 5th. Well, of course, it'll be the 5th and the 6th now with the rain out. One, two, set to come to Jacob Humphrey. And it misses up high, 2-2. Trying to battle his way back into the count. DiChiero swinging that left arm by his side as he takes a look for the sign. Finally comes up and comes set at the waist, crosses that right foot over in front of the mound, kicks and fires. Breaking ball in there. Strike 3. Down goes Humphrey for the 2nd time looking today. Will be strikeout number 4 and 4 straight strikeouts for that matter for Joey DiChiero.
And those pitches can be so deceiving, but at the same time, if you're Humphrey, you just have to see how you can hang back on it and try and push it past the infield. Still without a hit here today. The Mariners seem to be toiling just to get the bases loaded back in the 6th.
Devin Hurdle's turn, and he'll foul off first pitch he sees to make it 0-1. Hurdle on the day, 1 for 3 as grounded out, flied out, and Singleton came around to score the only run for the Mariners in the ball game. No balls and a strike now to Hurdle. Here's the pitch. Misses inside, almost got him, but he dances out of the way, and it's 1-1. Ethan Anderson on deck. If Hurdle can get on, it would be really interesting to see what Harwich is able to do with some sluggers on deck and in the hole. Two away here in the 7th. Base is empty for DiChiero. Trying to retire Devin Hurdle. The pitch. Bounced way in front of home plate, and so it'll be 2-1. Fog is definitely continuing to roll in from right to left here at White House. 2-1 pitch, misses way up and away, and it's 3-1. Great crowd tonight, probably close to 2,000 by my estimate. Beautiful night here, people trying to spend around the 4th of July time at the ballpark and think about how close Brewster is, an easy trip for them to make, and of course just adds to the crowd size. 3 balls and a strike. The pitch is going to miss. Ball 4. So Hurdle's on for the second time tonight. And with 2 away in the 7th, it'll be Ethan Anderson's turn.
First baseman,
Devin Hurdle has given the Mariners chances in the leadoff spot tonight.
Anderson.
Aside from grinding out and flying out in his first 2 at-bats, the Mariners have to look to Anderson for a third hit here. The middle third of the order is starting to come through after 3 straight leadoff hits in the 6th.
Anderson singled twice and also struck out looking. Hit would be really nice here as first pitch misses outside. It's 1-0. Anderson, a .375 hitter at Virginia, who, of course, made a run in the college playoffs, but now, of course, that time has ended, and a couple of guys reporting to Harwich now. This one's going to miss low, 2-0. Fog is definitely really heavy now at White House, and fly ball would be really interesting to try and track. Swing and a miss that time, 2-1. And last time in Chatham when there was a fog delay for a Mariner game, it was about 20 minutes that it lasted. And we'll see what happens now as it continues to become an increasingly large factor. 2-1 to Anderson. Is going to be in there on the outer part of the plate to make it 2-2. Anderson didn't like the call, but now going to have to protect with 2 on him. Lead off of first for Devin Hurdle. As here comes the 2-2 offering. Fouled off. Nice job to stay alive by Anderson. Trying to continue to move the chains and give his offense a chance to get back in this ball game. It's 4-1 Brewster here. Hossa grants time once again. Time in, rather, and the 2-2 is going to be grounded over on 1 hop to Dylan Hoy. He'll go on to second and take the forced play to end the 7th inning. So despite a 2-out walk, the Mariners can't get much going on offense. Take a quick break and head to the 8th inning. 4-1 Whitecaps. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. And we're going to enter a fog delay here from White House Field. Top of the 8th inning coming up, but first we'll take a quick break and wait for this fog to roll on through here as visibility is very difficult at White House. Thank you for your patience, and we'll provide you as many updates as we get, but probably will be till it rolls through. No set time limit. Bear with us. We'll be right back. 4-1 Brewster. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Hello and welcome back to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. As we are in this fog delay right now on the screen, you see our photographer Anders Sailing on the field right now. He's getting his reps in. Right next to him, our writer Matt Skillings. Huge shout out to those two guys on the media team, putting in a lot of hard work for this team. Oh, we see Anders. He's running to the dugout, taking off the Mariners hoodie and getting back out on to the diamond. Fumbles the glove, fixes the hair, and he's calling for someone. The hair fixing is getting to be a lot. We're averaging around 2 per minute. What a snag by Anders. Just beautiful stuff we're seeing out of this young man right here. Maybe a future Mariner. It's looking pretty likely. I feel like Steve Angler should let this man have a few reps during the game once it comes back. Couple beautiful tosses. Oh, and now we see a little change of role for one of our media interns. Emily is now has one of Anders' cameras as he's pitching to Matt. This is the fog situation as we zoom out. Not really getting better so far. So stay tuned here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We're out.
Just another quick update. We just saw the umpires convene with Coach Steve Engler and now Jamie Shevchuk getting the lowdown. We're not sure exactly what's going on, but we should have an answer for you momentarily, so bear with us. Hopefully we'll be right back here. Don't stop believing. Taking us right out here. 4-1 Brewster Whitecaps. Top of the 8th. Hopefully will come up soon. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Your guess is as good as ours. We have no idea what's happening, but it looks like we're going to be sitting here waiting a little longer, so bear with us. Still in the fog delay here from White House Field, but Brewster leading this one 4-1. They are set up for the win if this game is called. Still no official word, but it looks like Englert wants to play, and Shevchuk, I'm sure, could care less either way. So bear with us. 4-1 Brewster. We'll take a quick break and be back hopefully soon on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. All right, well, it looks like we're going to get set and get going here for those who have stuck it out with us. Thank you. They're going to get loose, and then as if the fog has gotten any better, it really hasn't, but we're going to play baseball. So we'll take a quick break and be back here for the 8th inning once everybody's loose. But, yeah, we're ready to get going for some baseball. So bear with us. We'll be right back in a flash. 4-1 Brewster coming back for the top of the 8th on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back to White House Field as our broadcast camera has gone out. And set to resume here as first pitch to Brett Hauer is going to miss for a ball. It's 1-0. Brett Hauer 0 for 3 on the day. Struck you out a couple times and flat out to right. Will Pearson, the new arm for the Mariners, coming out of that long break out of Georgia. 2 balls, no strikes now from him. Pearson comes in, making his 5th appearance, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts to 5 walks, and he's surrendered 3 hits on the season as that one gets a piece of Brett Hauer, and it will be a hit by pitch to start off the top of the 8th. So delay that lasted close to about 45 minutes to an hour, and now set to get going again. Harwich in need of some offense when they come back up, but got to get the outs first, Wyatt.
I'm sure it has to feel a little bit degrading for Chris Latito. Has been sensational all season long in the short appearances he's made, only getting 1 inning, and he only faced 3 batters.
As wild pitch from Will Pearson here sends the runner down to second, and Brett Hauer, and already in scoring position now with nobody away. As new batter is Jaime Ferrer. A couple of final scores. Bourne defeated Wareham 5-4 at Doran Park. Good to it, of course, beat Falmouth 3-2, and YD beat Hyannis 5-4. Orleans and Chatham, to make us feel a little better, is also in a delay. That game tied at 5-5. This one's going to be a broken bat, soft ground ball over to Hurdle. Hurdle goes on to first, and it will be in time. A 6-3 put out and a good one to get the speedy Ferrer. But down over to third goes Brett Hauer, and there's one away, though.
An important change to note here for the Mariners defense. Devin Obey replacing Matt Scannell after Scannell appeared to have injured his hand. He finished 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, big loss for the Mariners. When you think about the production Scannell's been able to provide, despite having not the best average, he's just been an asset to bring guys around and score himself, steal bases, as well as his defense. Peyton Green next up as first pitch, almost another wild pitch. Nice stop by Brian Arndt that time. It's going to be 1-0. Green is 0 for 3. Struck out twice and also reached on an error. Fog's still a factor here. 1-0 is going to get away from Arndt, and in to score easily is going to be Brett Hauer. And so now a 5-1 Whitecaps lead.
Will Pearson has not been too conducive with control as of late, and aside from having a couple of good outings on the season, dealing some strikeouts for the Mariners, it's just too much of a lead here. You don't want to give these runners liberties on the base pass, especially with that being a pass ball.
Pearson was credited with the loss in his last outing. That came back against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, went 2/3 of an inning, 10 pitches, 1 hit. Not surrender any earned runs, and was tabbed with a walk as well. Or so says point streak, even though that line may be a little deceiving. 3 balls and a strike now as he's trying to work his way back into the count against Peyton Green. And the outing before was just 1/3 of an inning for Will Pearson, 17 pitches. 3-1 is going to miss down low, and so it'll be a walk issued. 1 away here and 1 on for Derek Berg, the 9-hitter, and Pearson's got to find it and in a hurry before this thing gets any uglier. I mean, you got to think Harwich waited 45-plus minutes to get this game back underway, and now hit batsman, already a run surrendered, and now a walk is just prolonging what could be a slow death after all, but still 6 outs for Harwich to work with when they come back on offense. First pitch to Berg is going to be in there for a strike. It's 0-1.
Sure, it's also be a little flustering here for Pearson. Chris Latito probably thought he was going the final 3 innings of this ball game, but now Pearson has to fill in a hurry.
0-1 from Pearson is going to miss way up high, and it's 1-1. One away in the 8th, 5-1 Whitecaps as they've already added another without a hit. Just a couple wild pitches and a ground ball out have been enough to get that run home in Brethauer. A pitch. There goes the runner. The throw down from Arndt is going to be in plenty of time. A shoot from Brian Arndt to take care of Peyton Green. He's caught stealing, and now there's 2 away.
Definitely helpful out there. Pearson not showing too many consistent strikes over the plate. Arndt just getting enough of it in time. Really nice job in being able to get out of the way of the batter as well in Green.
Not a great jump from Peyton Green that time on his way down to second. Arndt got him by a mile, but he also has a bazooka for a right arm. 3 balls and a strike now to the 9-hitter in Berg. Pearson trying not to walk yet another. Pearson checking his pitch comm. Now comes set at the waist. 3-1 pitch set to come in. And it will miss outside. Ball 4. 5-pitch walk issued. And so now the lineup card flips over for the top of the order. And Dylan Hoy.
Mariners have been a little more shorthanded over the start of this week, releasing a couple of pitchers. You have the departure of Tim Noon. And now Will Pearson still just trying to figure out his way into this relief outing here. And as I said, has some strikeouts on the season, but needs to force some ground ball contact too.
First pitch to Hoy is going to be in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Fog once again getting deeper and deeper here at White House. I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure the delay really helped at all. I think, if anything, it stayed stagnant. Trying to play through now. Both coaches agreed, and so here we are. It's a ball and a strike now to Dylan Hoy. Berg over at first. Hoy on the day is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and flied out to right to complement a walk. 2 balls and a strike now from Pearson. Yeah, he's had some serious control problems his last 2 outings and now make it 3, including this one for Harwich. Was fantastic in his first 2 outings rather. First outing was actually lights out, 3 complete innings, 41 pitches, no hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, and just 1 walk. Count is 3-1 now. No one up and throwing in the Mariner bullpen. 3-1 pitch is going to be laced but foul off to the right and into the Brewster bullpen. Nice play made by someone who was paying attention, and so it's now a 3-2 count.
Had to be a couple people sleeping over there. By the way, they got out of the way of the trajectory of the ball.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch from Pearson trying to end the inning. And it's going to be chopped over to Hurdle at shortstop. Going to have to hurry here. The throw on is in time. And that will be out number 3, a 6-3 put out to end it. But Brewster strikes for 1 more and makes the lead 5-1. We'll take a quick break and be back for the home half of the 8th. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Mason Guerra, Casey Sauke, and Brian Arndt due up here in the 8th. Call to the bullpen. Drake Quinn will toe the rubber. Drake Quinn, 6'3", 210-pound right-handed pitcher, senior at Marist from Pittman, New Jersey. Started 9 of 17 games he appeared in for Marist. Finished his 4th season there with a 2-3 record and 73 strikeouts in 50 2/3 innings. A tremendous mark. 17 earned runs and 30 strikeouts in his junior season of 23 1/3 innings. First pitch to Guerra is going to be fouled off for a strike. It's 0-1. Night is over for Joey DiChiero. He did his job, going 2 innings, surrendered 3 hits, struck out 4, walked 1, and did not surrender a run. Count is going to be 0-2 now to Guerra. As Drake Quinn trying to make this an efficient 8th inning. As that one's going to be in there. Down goes Guerra. He's punched out looking. First strikeout for the new wing in Drake Quinn, and there's 1 away.
Just been a lot of amassed strikeouts here tonight. Didn't look like it, as the Mariners only had 1 in each of the first 3 innings. But now you're starting to run out of time here. The Mariners just need some hits on the board. You can't look past Casey Sauke, who's also due.
Sauke hitless on the day. He's struck out twice and walked. That was a meaningful walk, as now Sauke's going to be hit by the pitch and trot down to first base, on base for the 2nd time here tonight. And so now it'll be Brian Arndt's turn. Arndt over 3 on the day. He's grounded out, popped out twice. Popped out to short and to first base. Been a long night for him. Past the 9:30 mark here in Harwich. A game which continues to go on following a fog delay. Game was on pace to finish in like 2 hours, 20 minutes. Here we are, 3 hours and 10 minutes since first pitch, and still an inning and a half left to play. It's 0-1 now to Brian Arndt. See, waggles the bat back, hovers it over his shoulder, and awaits the pitch from Quinn as it misses outside. 1-1. Harwich just 4 hits on the evening, being out hit 7-4, and Brewster, of course, leading on the scoreboard 5-1. 2 errors for the M's as well have not done them any favors. 1-1 pitch is going to be flared into shallow right field. Coming in is going to be Ferrer, and it drops in for a base hit. I'm not sure if Ferrer couldn't get there or lost it. It looked like he couldn't get there, and so it'll be a single for Brian Arndt, and now runners on first and second for Kennedy Jones.
Well, and if he couldn't get there, I'd imagine what Peyton Green was thinking. He didn't really range towards the actual trajectory of the ball. So I'm thinking maybe it's more borderline fog rather than the actual access to it, because that could have been a second out and potential double play over at first as well, as Sauke may not have tagged.
Jones on the day is 0 for 2 as he chops this one back to the pitcher. He'll go to first and take the out just barely as the runners advance down to second and third. Kennedy Jones is retired, and there's 2 away. So now Devin Obie will dig in. He came in as a substitution for Matt Scannell after the at-bat in which Matt Scannell struck out with the bases loaded. Seemed to have hurt his hand in the process, and so had to be recalled from the game. And now Obie taking his place in left and in the 8th spot. Big chance for him. Let's see how he can adapt coming off the bench cold. Counts 1-0 as that one misses inside. Scannell previously was 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and a pop-out. 1-0 pitch is going to be chopped foul and even up the count at 1-1. Obie, a native of Nashville, Tennessee. Rising junior for the Duke Blue Devils. Hitting .256 for Harwich this summer with a .396 on-base percentage. That one misses just outside. They get 2-1. also slugging .410, so an OPS above 800, which is always a respectable mark. Spent last summer in the Northwoods League with the Kalamazoo Growlers. 2-1. Swing and miss, 2-2. Runners on second and third. Bunch of fans have stuck around here in Harwich despite the delay. Of course, you gotta figure it's much better than the rain, so. Getting ready here as the pitch comes. This is down low. 3-2 now the count. Daniel Rivera waits on deck. Mariners would love to find a way to extend this inning. Here comes the payoff pitch. Foul tipped into the glove. And Quinn escapes the jam, picking up his second strikeout in the inning. Strands a runner on second and on third. Take a quick break and be back for the final frame. Ninth inning coming back at you on the other side. 5-1 Whitecaps. We'll be right back in a flash. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you to the ninth inning of action here as Brewster set for their last licks, likely their last licks against the Harwich Mariner. Pitching in Will Pearson. It'll be Will Turner, Davis Diaz, and Brock Tibbetts due up for the Caps. First pitch from Pearson is going to be in there for, or no, it'll miss for a ball. It's 1-0. Close pitch there as Turner on the day as popped out to second, grounded out to second, walked, come around to score, and grounded out to first. 2-0 now the count to Turner. Still looking for his first hit on the day. His team with a healthy lead. Fog still ever looming here at White House. 2-0 pitch. Misses up high, and it's 3-0. Just past 9:45 here Eastern time up in Harwich, Massachusetts. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. And it's going to just find the outer edge of the zone. It's 3-1. Diaz, who's on deck, has been a problem as 3-1 is going to miss down low. And that will be walk number 3 issued from Will Pearson, who's just really struggling with his control out on the mound. And it has been a lot of free tickets for Brewster hitters.
And the Mariners still have the opportunity, if they elect to maybe get the final 3 outs with either Cole Rowland, Zane Probst, and perhaps even Aiden Moza, who have not pitched in at least 2 days. So I wouldn't be surprised if Pearson is unable to get this batter, that this might be his last.
And I would be surprised if they made a move with no one loose in the pen, and also most of their relievers have been pretty good all season long. And not sure you want to put in a guy like Probst or Moza who's been lights out. You'd save him for a situation in which it will be able to lock up a win or something. Pearson just trying to keep the margin where it's at right now. As here comes the 1-1 pitch. This is outside, 2-1. Diaz on the day has struck out swinging. He's also singled, doubled, and walked. And a real thorn in the side for this Harwich staff. See what he can do against Pearson. The pitch. It's going to find its way into the zone on the outer half, and it's 2-2. Some light shifts going on from the Harwich defense. Diaz pumped one into that right center gap just a couple innings ago. 2-2. Misses way outside. That one cleared the other half of the left-handed batter's box. Yeah, Pearson, I think he has 2 or 3 wild pitches here, Wyatt, and not even remotely close to the zone that time. Count is 3-2. Pearson has walked 3 guys trying to avoid a fourth in Diaz. Is down to second is Will Turner. The pitch. And it's going to be chopped over to the shortstop in Hurdle. Hurdle goes on the run over to first. And it will be in time for the out, but down to third goes Turner. Diaz retired.
The first baseman from Indiana, number 45, Brock.
Brewster's moving runners over. That's how it's made its disparity between the Mariners lineup and just trying to get some runs on the board here. Harwich only with 5 hits against a team that does not have a solid ERA.
Pitch to Tibbetts now coming, and it is all the way past Brian Arndt. Another wild pitch for Pearson, and in to score easily is Turner. That's another time that Pearson has thrown a pass ball, or wild pitch rather. Very similar to the 8th inning in which he hit a batsman and then they came in to score. That was Brett Hauer on a wild pitch, and now it happens again here in the 9th with Will Turner. Count is now 2-0 to Brock Tibbetts. Pearson trying to find his control here. The pitch is going to miss again, make it 3-0. Pearson has thrown now 35 pitches, 10 for strikes, 25 balls. Been a very tough control night for him. As that one misses inside, it's a 4-pitch walk issued to Tibbetts, and with 1 away, there's a runner on base. I will draw out R.J. Thomas, talk things over with Pearson, who's really battling control-wise. He's walked 4 men, also hit a batter. Hasn't surrendered a hit. He's gotten 3 ground balls to shortstop as well. Really been giving Hurdle a workout.
Yeah, and he's had 12 or more walks in 2 of his 3 seasons, pitched at Georgia, so sure this has to be a sign of some challenge for Pearson and just trying to go 1 batter at a time and make sure that he can draw some command here on his pitches. Just hasn't had it on the slider. The fastball has missed high at times, and as a result, he's just been giving Brewster some quick chances at scoring here and making it a lot harder for this Harwich lineup.
James Tibbs' turn to dig in. On the day, he's 1 for 3. He's grounded out to second. Also walked, doubled, come around to score, and struck out swinging. Brewster has been all over the offensive side of things tonight, thanks to a bunch of walks and 7 hits with a pair of errors made by the Harwich defense. 1-0 count now from Pearson. I'm not sure exactly what's changed over the course of the summer, but Pearson has really had control issues. So that one swung on a miss, making it 1-1. And yeah, that going back to that first outing he pitched in, he was lights out, and ever since then has really struggled to have a scoreless outing. It's a ball and 2 strikes now, as now just 1 pitch away from out number 2. Firebirds and Anglers still knotted at 5, but that game continues to be suspended as this one is back underway and resuming. 1-2 pitch. Missed outside, 2-2. That one way out in the other batter's box. Pearson comes set at the waist. And here comes 2-2. Misses outside 3-2. Tally is now up to above 40 pitches at 41, 12 strikes to 29 balls for Pearson. He's thrown a lot of pitches in just an inning and a third. Just over, as that one's going to miss outside, and another walk issued. Down to first goes the batter in Tibbs, and Tibbetts down to second. And actually, Brett Hauer is someone who can be retired. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Also has been hit by a pitch when Pearson entered the game back in the 8th inning. First batter that Pearson faced, to be exact. First pitch is going to be right down the middle for a strike, and dialing it in that time is Pearson. See if he can follow it up. He's walked 3 men in the inning and also had 3 balls on Davis Diaz, who grounded out to the shortstop in hurdle. Almost was ball 4, as he just nails Brett Hauer for the second time here tonight. And so...
And they're warming up Dylan Delvecchio. You have to give Pearson a little bit of cushion here and just preventing him from making this game spiral out of hand here. The Mariners facing a Whitecaps team that only walks about 4 to 5 times per game this season through their first 20. So I'd have to imagine that might be it.
And Wyatt, you mentioned that stat, and it's been 5 batters that have walked through just an inning and a third of Pearson's outing, let alone the rest of the ball game. You add another 4 to that, and then a couple hit batsmen. I mean, we're up over 11, maybe a dozen free tickets from this Harwich staff. Score also now is 6-1 Whitecaps. No balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch from Pearson is going to be swatted out and tailing in right field, making a long run, and the catch is going to be Sauke, but tagging and coming in to score is going to be Tibbetts. Tibbs down to third, but Harwich has their second out. Score moves to 7-1, though.
And this is where you have to rely on your defense. You're just not throwing strikes. Pearson hasn't had the number of strikeouts that he'd begun to exhibit in his capabilities early on in the season, first couple of outings, and this is where Harwich's defense just needs help from Pearson just to get a strikeout to find some balance here against this Whitecaps lineup.
Peyton Green will dig in as fouls off the first pitch he sees to make it 0-1. Green has struck out looking, struck out swinging, reached on an error and walked and been caught stealing. Not his best night on offense, but we'll see how he can respond here with a runner in scoring position and a 6-run lead. Pitch from Pearson misses way up and away, and it's 1-1. Yeah, this Harwich bullpen has just been falling apart here and there. I mean, good start from Chmielewski, and now things have just kind of spiraled out of control. It's a ball and 2 strikes now as Pearson able to find it. Delvecchio is loosening in the pen, but Pearson trying to make sure that he can finish what he started. 1-2 is swung on and missed. Down goes Peyton Green. That will be just the first strikeout for Will Pearson of his outing. And the 9th inning ends. But Brewster brings 7 to the plate and scores another 2 to extend their lead to 7-1. Harwich coming up for the 9th inning. We'll be right back on the other side at the house. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
baseman from Kansas State, number 21,
Daniel Rivera, Jacob Humphrey, and Devin Hurdle, the last life for the Harwich Mariners. They trail this ball game 7-1 here in the bottom of the ninth. Rivera digs in. He's 0 for 3. Grounded into a fielder's choice, stole a couple bases, and he's also grounded out to the pitcher and struck out swinging. As it's going to be a 1-0 count. Back out there is Drake Quinn trying to put a ribbon on this one for the Whitecaps, who desperately are in need of a win. They lost 4 of their last 5, but most recently having a win against the Anglers, trying to make it 2 in a row here heading into tomorrow. This pitch in there for a strike. It's 1-1. Tomorrow's game will be at Stony Brook at 5 o'clock as a makeup game for the 4th of July. 1-1 pitch set to come to Rivera. And it's going to be lined over to the second baseman. Nice stop by Green. He goes on to first. It's 4-3 put out, and a really nice job that time to retire the batter in Rivera.
Brewster has had 18 errors total on the season, as looks like Jack Goodman is going to step in here, and the Mariners just have not really had much to force against the defense here, aside from getting those 3 base hits to start off the 6th inning. This Brewster defense has held really strong, aside from having a good deal of errors through its first 20 games.
So Jack Goodman will dig in as the pinch hitter. Humphrey exits the game after a fly out to third base, a walk with a stolen base, and then 2 strikeouts looking. Be Goodman's turn to pick up the reins here, and we'll see what he can do. Try and start a rally here in the 9th. As he might have broken his bat, it goes over to Green, who fields it easily. 1 pitch, and yet another out to make it 2 away now in the 9th. Harwich last 5 games, a loss at the hands of the Anglers, a loss at the hands of the Harbor Hawks, a walk-off win against Katuitt, a loss to Chatham once again, and then a win against Wareham. If they lose today, they will have lost 4 of their last 5. And would need to be a dramatic comeback, starting with Devin Hurdle here, 2 away in the 9th. First pitch is going to be lined, but foul over towards the Brewster bullpen, and it's 0-1. Finally, at the top of the hour, once again here, 10 p.m. That's about 3.5 hours since first pitch, and a game that probably should have been over around an hour ago when you think about the fog delay. No balls and a strike now to Hurdle, and next pitch is fought off once again to make it 0-2.
That's kind of been the story of how it's gone here today. The Mariners have not had more than 4 straight to reach, and it's hurt their lineup.
Here comes the 0-2 to Hurdle. And it's going to be ripped into the gap in left field, but going over is Turner, and he makes the catch. Will Turner makes the catch to retire the side and end the 9th inning, a 1-2-3 for Drake Quinn. He was fantastic. And so the final score, the Whitecaps 7, the Mariners 1. We're going to take a break for probably 15 seconds and come back for the postgame show. Stick around. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you into the Harwich Mariners postgame show. Devin Dobeck joined by Wyatt Kopelman here in Al Graber press box. Wyatt, a really tough pill to swallow for this Harwich Mariners team, a team who's now lost 4 of their last 5. They've really been crumbling, but they're still remaining in second place in the Cape Cod East Division standings, but now the Firebirds nipping at their heels. Teams going in one direction and others going in the other. I mean, it's a lousy way to put it, but unfortunately for Harwich, they're just going in the wrong direction.
And the Mariners, they got a sense of momentum from the middle of their lineup here today. Again, Casey Sauke, Ethan Anderson in his debut, really sparking, and the Mariners had those 3 straight hits in the 6th inning. It looked like they had momentum. They leave the bases loaded, only get 1 run, and then you would have stranded 2 in the 3rd and the 4th as well. So just the Mariners not getting those timely hits, and it certainly plagued them late. Yeah,
it was just not their ball game. That's reality. Ethan Anderson was sensational, made a really nice sliding play over by the out-of-bounds area behind home plate and then had a pair of hits. He was awesome. But, yeah, the Harwich pitching just really not doing too much good. 9 walks and then a couple hit batsmen. That's not going to do you any favors. And when you combine that with surrendering 7 hits and committing 2 errors, there's not really a shock as to why this ball game was a 7-1 loss. It was a tough one, but got to just swallow it and move on. I mean, it's just crazy to think about how the turnover in the Cape Cod League can make such a difference. I mean, you think about a Harwich team, 5-game winning streak, and now all of a sudden they've lost 4 of their last 5. Got to find some new answers here, but, yeah, it's just been a really tough stretch.
And if any game can be considered as a projected exhibition of how the Mariners have struggled throughout their lineup, you also look to the standout pitching from the Brewster Whitecaps. Taken from that perspective, you get 6 innings of 1-run relief, and Fisher Jameson, the man making his debut out of Florida here tonight, certainly getting the win after the starter and Patrick Forbes of Louisville only pitched 3 innings. And so the Mariners, they really didn't have the momentum they needed. Just to walk in a run with the bases loaded shows that they're going to have to look for more hitting throughout the lineup. The lower third line was very dormant. Meanwhile, Brewster's was quite alive.
Yes, indeed it was, and these teams will go at it again tomorrow, 5 o'clock at Stony Brook Field. Wyatt, what needs to change from a Harwich standpoint in order to get back in the win column as they continue to slide in those East standings?
Starting pitching has not been a concern for the Mariners. Again, on example here tonight, you take Tom Shimoleski. He gave up 2 earned runs, 1 a solo home run, and that's going to happen against even a lower hitting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League, like the Whitecaps, which have struggled at home and on the road this season. But to get more stability out of the relief staff, as well as the fact that the lineup only gave you 5 hits here tonight on your home field, Mariners just need more of a jolt from the start.
Yeah, once again, that game will be at 5 o'clock as the Mariners now fall on the season to just 11-10, just 1 game above 500. Tomorrow, the exact halfway point in the Cape Cod Baseball League season, game 22 out of 44. So after that, half the season will be over, and Harwich needs to regroup here in the second half. But that just about does it for us. We'll take a final look at the box score. Brewster, 7 runs on 7 hits, and they make no errors. 1 run on 5 hits and 2 errors for the Mariners. The win goes to Fisher Jameson. The loss goes to Tom Shimoleski. And that will just about do it. So, on behalf of our entire production team, our producer, Sean Sears, my broadcast partner, Wyatt Kopelman, and myself, Devin Dobek, thank you so much for joining us on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And always remember to live the dream. We'll see you next time.